Before we go to the video, let me show you what will happen. We will integrate Stripe into Django Oscar. It's coming in the sequence of a previous video. It's in the description, the link. Test mode. Let's go.
Django, Python, JavaScript, tutorials for Jamie, this is Silva.
What the fuck, HTML?
There's only C.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Django Oscar video. This time, let's take a look on how to integrate Stripe. This post is dependent on part 19 and we will continue part 19 actually. So I will leave that link in the description and also for this post. First thing that we will look for, it's the configure Stripe. So we need to install Stripe. We can do this in our command prompt. So let me clean this and simply we would run pip install Stripe. I already have it. Actually I have version 11.6.0. Anyway, we can already copy this code into settings. So let's open the text editor at my site settings, and in the bottom of the file I will paste these two variables. Let me remove the asterisks. And now we need a Stripe account. If you don't have a Stripe account, you will need one. So you can go to stripe.com and sign in. Let me see. I have already signed in, so I will go directly to the dashboard. When you log in into the dashboard, you will see something like this. Stripe has two modes, let's say. One is for production and the other is for testing. So I'm going to switch to the testing mode by going to this drop down. So here, switch to sandbox and test mode. You'll know that you are in the test mode when you see this orange header. Okay, from here, and it's the same process both for production and sandbox, we can go to developers and look for API keys. And here you'll see the publishable key and the secret key. So at this point, we'll simply copy them into our variables in settings. It's that simple. Copy. Whenever you want to go to production, you do the same process, but you can simply exit test mode at Stripe and go again to developers and get both keys from the API keys. From Stripe, this is it. It's really simple. And now let's continue to the code. So what we will do now is to modify our redirect view that we have created previously, and instead of returning a URL for some payment gateway simulation, we will change this to a URL to Stripe, for a Stripe URL. Let's do that now. I'm going to drag this window to my other screen and open views in store views. Okay, here I'm actually going to move this up so we have things organized. So now in the gateway redirect, we can start by getting the shipping method. Actually, shipping method could be self get shipping method, and we need to pass in the basket. This method is coming from checkout session mixin, and now from shipping method we can get the shipping charge, which we will need to calculate the price. So shipping charge is equal to shipping method, which has a method named calculate. And if we pass the basket to calculate, it will return to us the shipping charge. Okay, now when we have this, let's define the Stripe API key like this. Stripe.api key is equal to settings dot, and now the variable that we have defined at the settings. So Stripe underscore secret key. We need to import these two things. So import Stripe is one of them, and from, let's see, from Django.conf import settings. Good. We have the API key configured for Stripe. Now we need to create a Stripe session. The Stripe session will then give us a URL. So let's do that. Session is equal to Stripe again dot checkout session with uppercase and create. Now in create, we will pass some information. We can start with the payment method types. Now Stripe has many payment types. For now, I will just use card to keep it simple. But it's a matter of exploring a little bit. They have a lot of payment types for different countries. Now let's define the line items as a list with a dictionary inside containing some keys like price data. Price data, it's going to be yet one other dictionary with currency. I will pick euros for me. Product data, again, a string for the key. And this will be the name that will show up in the gateway, so you can modify this in the future to suit your needs. We say that the name is going to be a string with basket and then basket ID. End it with a comma, and let's now define the amount. Unit amount should be an integer, and let's open parentheses in here and sum the total of the basket with the shipping charge. So the total of the basket can be basket.total including tax. Including tax. Now the shipping charge, we can get it from shipping charge in here, and we also need to say that includes the tax. If for some reason you don't want to include the tax, you could use exclude tax and multiply by 100, okay? So the amount is correct. End it with a comma, and also for this dictionary. Now let's continue and define quantity. So quantity will be 1. That's it for the list. Now we still need to define some more things. The mode will be payment. Okay? The success URL, this is where we will return to when we confirm our order at Stripe. So let's define this as self.request build absolute URI. Then we use reverse, and now we need to use the name of our path. So gateway underscore success. If you remember, we need to give this the URL parameter for basket ID. So we define args with basket ID. Okay. Only one more thing that we need to add in here, which is the session ID of Stripe. So we do this with a get request. Session ID is equal to checkout session ID. That's it for the success URL. Quite similarly, we will do the same thing for cancel URL. So I'm just going to copy paste it. Instead of gateway success, gateway cancel. And this time we don't need the session ID. So I will just end that with a comma. And I'm already closing this with a parenthesis. But before we finish this session, let's define metadata. So metadata will be the basket ID in a dictionary again. And we can also define the method. So method could be stripe and end it with a comma. That's all for the session. So we know that this session has a URL. So we don't want this gateway page anymore. What we want instead is session.url. I'll save this and we'll test right away. Let me go to the store. Alright, from here let's add something to the cart. Checkout, ship to this address, and select some payment methods. And it will redirect us to Stripe. Right now it only has this card payment method. It's in the test mode. And let's test already the cancellation URL. Perfect, it's working correctly. Before we test the success URL, so before we finish a order at Stripe, it's important to verify if what we are receiving is really coming from Stripe. And there are multiple verifications that we can do. First, we will verify if the request has a session ID. So session ID request get, and we will look for something named session ID. So this session ID will be this session ID. Okay. If not session ID, then we will send some message to the user. So messages error, and we can say request session is not valid. After this, we restore the basket with the method tow and return with the redirect to the beginning of the checkout. So basket summary. Now we need to import redirect from Django shortcuts and just add that redirect in there. Okay, this is one of the verifications. There are more. We can also test with a try if Stripe really adds this session. So let's try to get it from Stripe with this stripe.checkout session dot retrieve, and we pass in the session ID. If Stripe has the session ID, it will not fail. If it doesn't have, it will create an exception. So we can use this except Stripe dot error Stripe error as E. For handling this, we can do something very similar to what we have done earlier, so I'm just going to copy paste it, and we can also display the error. So it could be something like error verifying the payment, and display the error. Okay, one other verification to the payment that we can do is to evaluate if the payment status of the session is paid. Let's try that. If session payment status is different than paid, then we need to not confirm this order. Okay, can make some dedicated message again. So payment not finished, payment not finished. There you go. We can verify if this request is really coming from Stripe, if everything went all right. It's a matter of exploring other options too. I will save it, and now I will go back to the store and test this again. We can actually add some more products. Okay, 106 euros. Proceed to checkout. Let's use FedEx. Go to the gateway. We can change this name. By the way, let me see. This is in templates, Oscar, checkout, payment details. So this could be Stripe. And let's go to Stripe. Basket 39, 106 euros. Let's add some testing cards. So 424242. I believe the date can be any date. 123. I'm gonna use Jamie for my name and pay. And there you go. That's about it. We can check this at the dashboard. And let's see, fulfillment, orders, order 39. Everything like it should be. We could have used the reference to store the session ID, for instance. If you think it's valuable, we could do that. Let's see the payment. It's still gateway. We can also change this in the views, in the redirect view. Instead of gateway, we could have put it as Stripe. And yeah, that's about it for integrating Stripe with Django Oscar. Let me know if there was something that I didn't mention. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.